Gonna bring up one of the main attractions to sports talk with Big Watts, and that is J.R. Boxing, one of the best who ever and who are doing it right now. What's going on? What's up, Doc?
Man, I was getting myself ready, making sure my microphone good, and I heard Texas. I said, man, that's what I'm talking about. Then you followed it up with Georgia. I said, oh. Then I heard Florida. Oh, Lord. But now, what's up, D. Watts, man? What's going on with you? Hope you had a
Yeah.
good day, brother.
Hey man, I had an excellent day, man. I had an excellent day, man. Got to say hello to the people in the chat. Brewster, what's going on, man? How you feeling? How you feeling? Sabrina Walter, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in right now. Appreciate you. Tyree Small, what's going on? How you feeling? Tyree, what's going on? Miss Crystal Wise Williams, a member. Appreciate you for being a member. Miss Harris, how you doing? Once again, good to see you. Kate in the cut. My girl, the boss lady. I love CC. A
Hey.
member, take care of Sports Talk will be watched, not just with the present, but also with her financial contribution. Appreciate it. MH, how you feeling? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
H-Town.
Kenneth Wilson. Kenneth Wilson, what's up, man? Appreciate you for being a member, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. TC, what's up? How you feeling? It's Patrick McGee. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Texas, yep. Texas is in the house, JW. Y'all represent Harley. Y'all represent Harley. Y'all represent I love CC. Nobody like nobody like you. Yeah, I know. But hey, keep on hating me then. I like the stuff that you do. Hate me. But anyway, got and I was running late. I really didn't do my homework on the show, but I said, hey, I gotta throw something together. Go Gator, what's up, man? I mean, Goat Talk, what's going on? How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling? Man, my dog, another person who always take care of the broadcast, a member. He already a member and he don't. Hey, super chat already. My favorite night right here. Let's get it, fella. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Somebody telling Greg what's up. Robert Mathis. All right.
Going on.
Alan, what's up? What's going on? What's going on? They call him Pastor Greg. Pastor Greg. Man, you a preacher now? You don't got the light? But you been changed?
I got my Falcon cup.
He got that fine cut. He gonna throw that thing away this year, bro.
Falcon cup.
Oh, rolling with Ben. Say, what's up, Greg? Everybody getting Greg some love. I love CC. Said, be what we talking about on Saturday, so I can do my due diligence. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. You're gonna be a guest. Everybody who don't join my membership gonna be a guest on the show on Saturday. All right, we're gonna do that. We just gonna chop it up. All right. Well, Greg, I never got any chance to talk to you. I don't talk to Greg, JR all week. So let me get your take on the draft, and we'll move into the commits that happened with Coach Prime. Coach Dre, what's up? What's going on? Check out through again, JR. Them shout out for them Texas boys, man. That's all. So, Greg, what you think of the draft, man? What you think about the slide of Shedeur? Let the people hear your take on that, and we'll move right along, my brother.
Oh man, it's been an interesting week. It's almost like a dream, you know. I went off on Sunday. I let it build all up. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, let it go all the way through. Because it would seem that as a Thursday, oh, they showed out, and everybody think, oh, first thing, Friday he gone. Then it's like Saturday is like weird. So my theory is, I got a couple theories. My theory is they had to, let them know who's boss. But the problem with Shedeur and people like Shedeur, no matter what color they are, when you got the popularity behind you, when you got the people behind you, because that's who you are. That's who you were made to be. That's I don't see any definition of what his name is and everything. I'm like, oh, this is deep. You know, he's shaking this thing up. He might be bringing exposure. He has brought exposure to the NFL, far as really how they've been doing things for a long time. Far as just I don't know. I think maybe behind the scenes they kind of keep people in check. It's they the boss. They the boss, and they write the check, and it makes sense from a brand standpoint that they would want to maintain it, but they went a little too far. They went a little too far, and it went a little too personal. Well, because you have to think about it, Shedeur been doing this thing. Well, we've been following for a couple of years at the Colorado level and Jackson State as well, and it was obvious to me. That's why I really started doing what I was doing. I didn't get into this thing to talk X's and O's and all that. It was. I saw what was going on. They really wasn't trying to give him a fair shot from the jump. Let's be real. They just did it the cute way. Like, oh, well, you play for your daddy, you're not even that good. And then he did good at Jackson State. And it was like, well, you did it at the FCS level. That's HBCU. That's JUCO ball. That's high school ball. They just always try to minimize what he did. And he came and smacked them in their mouth that TCU game. And it's like, oh, shucks. Well, we don't got ourselves into something. And then, they was holding their breath. That was that whole first part. They was holding their breath till you lost. And the referees got in on it. I always talked about that. I feel like they went overboard. Stuff came out. Keyshawn Johnson came out about how everybody needed to make sure Coach Prime lose, and also Shedeur lose, and because that makes Coach Prime look bad. Coach Prime came over here and said, "This is my quarterback." They got mad about that, but they ain't had nobody. So that's one of my theories that they really didn't want him to do it. And I got this crazy theory, and I'm gonna throw it out here. I'm gonna disagree. Said it original. I believe they used Cam Ward against him. I believe they used Cam Ward against him. I don't think that was the original thing, because I know Beck was a thing. You remember last year this time it was Beck. Beck is better than Shedeur. It was like, where Beck come from? Because that junior year Beck didn't really do nothing. But all of a sudden, Beck was the guy. Shedeur was up. Y'all know that, right? Once Penix left, Bo Nix, he was running with him until, Travis got hurt and all that. But Shedeur was really up there in a lot of categories. And that was a, big deal. So when Beck fell off and Ewan fell off, I think Cam Ward was somebody they was going to use anyway. But they just went into overdrive, I believe. They trained together. They've been running together. And, you really didn't hear much negative about Cam Ward. And they gave him a miracle season. I mean, he should have lost a good 4-5 games. Nobody want to talk about that. And they kind of helped them out till it just fell apart at the end. But I would say, Cam Ward didn't win no championship. But they want us to, what did Shedeur do? What did he do? Cam Ward, think about this. Cam Ward went number 1. He didn't win the Heisman. He didn't win the conference title. He didn't go to the playoff. Nobody really want to measure that because they so busy shooting at Shedeur. Shedeur ain't accomplished this. Well, Cam Ward didn't accomplish a whole lot either. He's a good quarterback. He always been a good quarterback, but to me, he was always in Shedeur's shadow. I think he was a good quarterback at Washington State, and they looked over him. That's why he had to come out the draft and go to Miami. And I think that he benefited in a lot of ways from Shedeur's relationship and platform with Well Off and all in the relationships they had. And they saw that, and I think they used it against him. And I didn't like the way Cam Ward, he called himself joking and all that. I didn't like the low blows he would throw in the conversation. It was always awkward with me, but I'm like, that's Shedeur boy. But when I look back at it, the big picture was it was an elaborate scheme to elevate everybody else but Shedeur. And you've seen that in the draft. I mean, they took pretty much every quarterback except him. And all of a sudden, everybody better than Shedeur. All these workouts we seen, all these scouts coming to the practices and the pro day, and all of a sudden they like Shedeur ain't good. I'm like, since when? Y'all been running up his behind ever since he been in Colorado. Everywhere he go, it's scouts everywhere. You can't say it was on for Travis. And Travis wouldn't have been what he was offensively without somebody getting on the ball. So they started saying, well, Shedeur didn't, he wouldn't accomplish that without Travis. But he put how many other guys in the NFL? So clearly it wasn't all Travis, because pretty much all their senior receivers went into the NFL. So it's like, who was throwing all them the ball? And so it got really weird at the end, like, oh, Shedeur is no good anymore. And I'm like, we ain't really heard that narrative. We heard 100 different narratives, but we never heard he wasn't good. And I don't know how they was able to pull that off. And oh, he's a second rounder. We ain't heard him being a second rounder. Maybe one silly dude said that. And it was like an echo in the dark. Like, who said that? Everybody else, he the first pick. It wasn't his daddy. Everybody said he was a first round pick. So it wasn't like his daddy.
Yeah. I blame that video he put out when they were joking, when they was so-called joking, like we talking about throwing them bubble screen and hitch pass. I think Bucket should have edited that part, man. I know he tried to put natural stuff out, but everybody watching the video, right? The purpose of a bubble screen or a hitch is because you don't have a running game, right? You throw the ball out there, Jimmy, because you don't try to run the ball. Well, you want to get the ball to your athlete. And I agree with what you're saying, Greg. I just don't think Bucket should have put that part out.
But he said a lot of stuff, man. He would have did a lot of editing. He said a lot of below the belt stuff.
I know, but check this out. In our chats, we say a lot of stuff when we be texting. We don't want that stuff out, right, JR? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, now, whoa.
I'm just saying,
you can put out publicly. People, I'm good.
I'm just
right
saying,
down the middle.
When we be texting somebody.
Down the middle.
We don't want that part. I'm agreeing with Greg now.
But you can tell the difference, but you can hear the tone in the person, the undertone. Like,
Cam Ward throwing some shots in there. I said, damn.
Yeah, you can feel the undertone. After it's like if me and you was going at it and we joning. After a while, people would be like, they don't really like each other. Versus your homeboy, you can hear the tone. Like, hold up now, you just keep on going. Like, Shedeur ain't even that type of dude. Like, who he have a relationship with like that? Well, he roasting all the time. He touchy feely. He touchy on everybody. Put his head against them and all that. He ain't a type of guy who's negative. We know that. So when he get with Cam Ward, it's always negative. Like Cam Ward and see this Shedeur try to laugh it off. And Cam Ward want to joan and stuff, and like Shedeur, that ain't that type of dude. You can't name nobody he got a relationship with like that. So that's why I was like, what's going on with dude? But so Bucket didn't edit it. I ain't saying he edit nothing, but I'm saying like a lot of stuff. It seemed like he rarely said anything positive to Shedeur. It was almost shocking when he did. That's how I felt. So
what you think, JR?
Yeah, no, Greg touching on Greg touching on a lot of things, man, and there's definitely some what I presume to believe some truth to that. I won't go no further than that, but there's some truth in Greg's voice as far as what he's saying, man. Greg kicking facts. If you hadn't have an opportunity to listen to Greg said it on Sundays, usually around about 12:30. I'll be sliding out of church around that time. But usually about 12:30. If you listening in the chat, if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to Greg said it, do that. Sunday, 12:30, you be locked in. He put out a lot of content, in between that time too, but 12:30, that's where they say Preacher Greg. That's where they get the preacher from. But now you saying some real stuff, Greg.
I moved to 2:00.
The 2? Oh, yeah. That's good then. I'm well out of the church.
Yeah. I had to go to church. I had to do a little church. So, I just moved it up. But I think the main thing, man, just looking back at it, like, sometimes you just evaluate stuff and you don't try to rush no judgment. And once you see it play out, you say, oh, I see. But you don't want to say it, but you say, I see some stuff, and that's kind of what my content is. Like, people mad at me when I was talking about the light practicing at night and the music. I try to be kind of introspective on, like, I'm looking at how stuff kind of play out and see the impact of it over time. And, I've been seeing Cam since he was at Jackson State, and Cam was at I don't know what he was, but he was about to go to Washington State, and Shedeur was about to go to Colorado, and that's when I kind of start seeing him pop up on the scene. And they really gave him a lot of. We didn't know who he was. We wouldn't have knew who no Cam was. We knew to watch out for him because they worked out together. He was going to Washington State. They ended up being Colorado, but I remember both of them had a fast start. Cam, Washington State they were undefeated. They was doing good. Colorado was doing good, and they both went down. And they kind of had the same record, except they beat Colorado in that last game. So I felt like, it's a very similar path they had. They both came from FCS. They both had a tough first year. He ended up going to Miami. Miami was a ready-built team. All they did was replace the quarterbacks. The other quarterback left, and these one-year guys. Shedeur was at Colorado. They still was trying to rebuild. But I feel like, realistically, they should have lost the They should have lost to Cal, and they should have lost to Virginia Tech early on. They would have never been in the top 10. But they were doing this weird stuff. They did the opposite of what they did with Colorado. They was getting these weird calls on these close games, like at the end of the buzzer games. And I think that the goal was to get Miami in a place. I think they wanted him to get that Heisman, but you just can't beat a Travis Hunter. I think he really supposed to got that Heisman because they can justify this number one guy, because they didn't want Shedeur to be the number one guy. Because if Cam was gone, who was they going to use? If Cam had graduated last year, who they were going to use? Beck fell off. Ewan fell off. They talking about this guy, Ole Miss, Dax or Dart or whatever his name. He emerged late in the season. Nobody was checking for this guy. Nobody was checking for none of these guys. They didn't even know who they were. The boy up at Louisville who don't play 87 years. Nobody knew who he was until throwing at the draft. We watched him throw dirt balls at the draft, throwing at the 20 yards short of the guy. Like, who he throwing to? The Saints took him. And it's like, I don't know, it was really, really obvious because everybody, the fans wanted him. And I said, since when the NFL don't want no money? I thought they want to sell tickets. Because anywhere Shedeur go, you finna sell out season tickets. Period. It don't matter where he went. If he had went to Dallas, they gonna sell out. If he went to Saints, they were gonna sell out. He had the Browns. If they dumb, if they stupid, let them be. But they not. He already showing he don't own the community already. And the locker room will get behind him. And what you gonna do when the locker room get behind him? Because the players are already saying they wanted him down. You took him in the fifth round.
You got a New York Giant wide receiver that going off over there on Twitter, boy. Napier, whatever his name. Cause they ain't drafting. Yeah, they going off, boy.
Yeah,
he
neighbors.
With them. He was close with them guys. He was hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you say that, because I listened to a podcast earlier, and it had Malik Neighbors on it, and he said that Shedeur messaged him while they was in high school. He tried to get him to come play out in Trinity, but the situation just didn't line up. Because like how Cameron Sim and Craig came out there to Trinity to play, didn't have nowhere to stay, had to stay with the coaches and things like that. It would have been the same situation for Malik Neighbors. But the intention was for him. Shedeur reached out to him. Hey, bro, I hear you going off over there in Louisiana. Man, we got this team here in Texas. Man, come play with us. And Malik Neighbors said he wanted to do it, but his family situation, everything like that, it just didn't work out at that time. Those Malik Neighbors' words. I ain't making this up. He said that on the podcast. So
yeah, I heard him, man. But still, I just can't understand, bro. The teams that was
they wanted to prove
it. They had scouts up there. New York Giants had scouts up there every practice. And they skipped over round after round after round. Now,
this is something that had to happen late, y'all.
I like Jackson Dart. I think he's the second best quarterback in the draft. I've been saying that for a long time because I've been watching him for 3 years. But he ain't better than Shedeur. He's better than Cam Ward, but he just ain't better than Shedeur. So I ain't understand that. Go ahead, Greg. I ain't mean to cut you off.
You know what? It's two things. They try to prove that nobody is bigger than the Shield. They don't realize the Shield is
Yeah, that
made
was
up of the athletes. The
yeah, that
Shield
was
is no Shield without the athletes. They got to get that arrogant mess out of them. The Shield needs Shedeur. Shedeur don't need the Shield at this point. Some of them players need the Shield. It's like I'm a rapper and I need the major labels to make me big versus the guy who's selling out the trunk who can sell out his own stuff. The label need him. He already got a following. It's a cold relationship. I already got millions of followers. I don't need the NFL to make me relevant. I
right.
want to play ball, but from a
Yeah,
branding and marketing standpoint, I bring value. The NFL not bringing me value, so you got to look at all of that. But when y'all mention Cam, I'm gonna tell y'all something that nobody want to miss because they ain't saying nothing negative about his character, his arrogance, nothing. They ain't critique how he throw. Cam, when you rattle Cam, if you put pressure on Cam, he not Cam. It's the opposite with Shedeur. Shedeur, his behind, he ain't Shedeur until you put pressure on him. That's why I get mad at him. He is all nonchalant. He get behind 28 points and he be like, okay, let's go. And run you down. And I'm mad at him. I'm like, doggone it. But Cam ain't proved he come back from no 28 points. Cam, if you hit Cam, go look at the Georgia Tech game, like I said. You hit him, what was Syracuse? If you hit him, he's done. Because he can't fall back on his fundamentals. He can't take them hits Shedeur take. Shedeur got hit like Rocky, man. It just knocked him all over the place. You thought he was done. He beat you worse when he get
yeah.
hit. They used to say that. They were like, don't hit him. He played better. No other quarterback can say that. Shedeur got his whole face knocked in against Colorado State the year before. They said, why you do that? Coach Prime had to wipe the blood off his face. He came right back and ran their butt down.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, but I don't understand it either, man. But he got an opportunity to go out there and just do what he need to do. Like I say, the community is already behind him. Like I played a video yesterday to JR and who they have with us, Coach Dre. This video right here, where the fan were already saying,
You know, I
right
want to
here.
say something about Shedeur Sanders. I think that we all missed something throughout all this. I think what we missed is just understanding he is a young man. Whether he was raised by his father, he was raised rich, he was raised poor, whatever. He did deserve to go higher than he did, in my opinion. Now, I've said he does take a lot of unnecessary sacks. He had a terrible offensive line, so I can see him trying to do things with the ball. I think he is going to be a great quarterback. I'm also coming to the side of like, well, shit, you know, like he said a lot of good things about a lot of quarterbacks. He never once got butthurt. He watched the process and was still happy to be drafted by the Browns. That alone tells me exactly what we all know and what's still true. The ultimate dream is to be an NFL football player. And no matter what we say and no matter what we think about him, he made it. And I thank God he did. And to be honest, I'm part of that problem. I'm a grown ass man. He's a young man. Just because I was raised poor, you know, whatever, none of that matters. When you look at him as a young man, I have a lot more respect for him after this draft process than I did before. I've always respected his father as I.
JR, when you look at the stuff that he said, JR, do you think his popularity, his coming from a millionaire family, do they hold that against him? The Shield?
Absolutely. Absolutely. B Watts, we talked about it that first night after the first round. I was like, man, something going on here, man. Look, you spoke to it a little bit. Look, the Giants showed up to Colorado ad nauseum during the season. We saw it. We saw it with our own eyes. But then you see the Colorado showcase, and you got all 32 teams there, and they didn't even know if Travis was working out. No disrespect to Jimmy, no disrespect to LaJohntay. They was there to see them guys too. But one of the main stars to the whole attraction of Colorado football was Shedeur Sanders himself. So you got 32 teams collectively coming in. They want to see up front. They want to see. Jerry Jones got that weird, audio out there of him talking to Jamie Foxx, how they think with that mind, all that gross stuff he was saying. But they want to see you. They want to touch you. They want to feel you. They want to see all that stuff. 32 teams came out there for that. And we talking about days, maybe a week or two before the draft. Oh, he got character issues. He got this, he got that. Look, if he had character issues, all right, I can. If I were to play devil's advocate, if he got character issues, all right, obviously his daddy ain't gonna say nothing, right? We can say that. But we talking about other people in the facility as well. We talking about reporters. How many reporters took shots at Coach Prime all throughout last year, this year? You don't think they would have took a chance to take a shot at Shedeur? They ain't had nothing negative to say. Shedeur went into every press conference, paid his respect to every single reporter, answered their questions professionally. You don't think a reporter would have had something negative to say? You don't think somebody in the CU campus would have had something negative to say about him? He's a part of that community. Look, all we hear about is how the NFL go out and they do their background. They investigate these players, fine-tooth comb. They going all the way back to elementary school, talking to elementary school teachers, lunch ladies, this people, that people. So the NFL did their due diligence. They talked to reporters, local beat writers, all of that stuff, because they want to know how these players are going to interact with their community, with their media teams, with all of these people. You ain't hear not a peep about Shedeur Sanders all year. But then they say, quote unquote, he get in the meeting room and there's the problem with him and a specific coach. Uncle Steve already went with it with that specific coach. I'm telling you, if you have an opportunity, I'm not promoting Hard Knocks or anything like that, but watch the last season of Hard Knocks when they had the Giants on, and watch how that coach talked to those players when they came into that GM office. Feet up. We talking about they're holding meetings. Feet up on the coffee table. Relax back in the couch. Talking to them. Hey, get up there and do this. Show me this. Show me that. Show me that. If you haven't had an opportunity, go watch Gruden's Corner. The way he stand up. Show me this. Do this. Do it. That just gives you a small insight of what these players go through when they get there. The way they talk to them, the way they do that. Again, I've been through it myself as a player. Not to the level of a professional standpoint, but I've been there. Greg, you probably been there too as a player. These coaches, they ain't got no filter, man. They try to treat you less than. But what I say is Shedeur handled it the right way. He celebrated. He was relieved. He getting to work already in the community, and he already training with his trainer to get himself ready. So when he go to minicamp, it's crazy, man. Nothing negative said until 1-2 weeks before the draft. That's crazy.
1-2 days. It's like it's a hard hill. It's a hard hill to climb because they got the right one. They got the right one. I don't know this thing because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know why this thing here acting like it ain't plugged up. But you dealing with a guy. Hold on.
Yeah, but
that has his own.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I thought you said
you got a guy who has his own meeting. So you talking about you got to tread lightly with him. They speaking it up now, like they say, oh, nobody want a guy who could take over the locker room as a backup. That's why They didn't feel like he was a first round guy all of a sudden. And then they said, well, once they start seeing him as a backup, but he doesn't fit that mold. Oh, they're coming up with crap on nobody else about everything they say. It's gonna come down with him because he has a lot of influence, not only on community, but he has influence in that locker room already. Quite as it's killed. So you can't mistreat him now. You can take him in a 100th round if you want to. You're gonna look like a fool because he gonna show all the work he doing behind the scene. Okay, y'all gonna say he can't bring the camera in the locker room. But guess what? That camera gonna be everywhere but the locker room. It's gonna show him working out with the players, hanging out with the players. It's gonna look a lot like what they gonna document this thing. And you ain't gonna be able to say, oh, he didn't get along with nobody. He horrible. Fool, we just watched them hang out. They was eating chicken wings together. They ain't gonna be able to do all that. They can't do that to him like they do to everybody else. They can't create a false narrative on him. They ain't gonna say he ain't working hard when they gonna see him. They gonna see him in the community. They gonna see him with his teammates. They gonna see that he can throw the ball. Cause you see one thing about going in the 5th round with 100 other quarterbacks in front of you, you mess around and be out there and get cut because you don't even get no reps. They gonna say, well, we ain't get to see that. You see what I'm saying? Because the first guy gonna get the most reps, second guy gonna get, then you the 4th, 5th guy. Somebody gotta go. So he may not even get to show what he can do, but get what he can do. He can get out there and do them videos and with them boys just like he been doing, and you ain't gonna be able to say he can't throw because he gonna show you on his platform with them 1 million followers. So you're not gonna be able to play him with that. You can hide them other guys, but he'll say, well, I take my practice outside of practice. Now I get them same guys to come work out with me. They ain't get no reps with. Right. They play him like that.
Yeah. That's why he gonna make that team. That's why he gonna go out there and do what he got to do.
If he's gonna make that team, let me tell you something. You see how the Saints ready to crash out? Still, all these people ready to crash out. Ain't nobody gonna crash out harder than that dog pound because they like Colorado. They ain't won in a long time.
Yeah, that dog pound.
They cut him and keep Flacco and they go in there and go 2-13. Boy, they might burn the stadium down. Play with them folks. Them folks ain't playing.
That's what I said the other night, Greg. I said, man, Cleveland for the Browns team, they're looking for a winner. Like they're looking for it. You got Ohio State, they won a championship. You got Cleveland Cavaliers, they won NBA championship a few years back with Bron. But that Browns football team, they ain't won nothing. They looking for a winner. That's why they paid Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed. Because they thought he gonna be our win. He is gonna get it done for us. Unfortunately, Deshaun Watson, whether it's a bad omen or whatever, he just couldn't overcome all of the things that was behind him already. He couldn't overcome that. You could tell by his play on the field. Cleveland been looking for a winner. But you're right, Greg. Them videos, if they try to play them, that's what we was talking about. Me, B. Watts, Coach Dre. Hey, make your videos, do the same thing you've been doing. You ain't got to show all the lifestyle stuff, but you showing, yep, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock. I'm going to go work out. I'm going into the facility. I'm going to study this, going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Now, once I'm out the facility, I was in the facility for a few hours. Now I'm going to go work out and throw extra reps with these guys that's on the team, with these local guys that's on the team. We going to this high school field. We going to throw these reps in. We're going to do all this extra stuff before training camp start. Change it. Whatever narrative they tried to paint for them, like you said, we're going to be able to see it with our own eyes. Notice I got my Buffs on. Shout out to Detroit. I got my Buffs on. Buffs, my Buffs, with my well off, because we repping the Buffs tonight. That's what it is. What I'm talking about, man. Shout out my homeboy in Detroit, man. Got a super Buffs.
Got a super chat there. $4.99 said the Browns are in a tough spot. You can't treat two like regular field picks. I believe they have to open the quarterback camp. Then it's business. Yep, the owner is no food. Haslam is no food. I agree with him on that. Do you think they know, Greg? Do you think Cleveland Brown know exactly who they pick and should do something?
Absolutely not. I should have sent the thing. I don't know. I didn't send. I ran across a chat because now Cleveland stuff popping up on my it's this little channel. They gonna do like Colorado. People was in the chat say y'all gonna be like Colorado now. You know, all the Colorado channels that was already there, like DMVR. It was a channel similar to that ish. It's a Cleveland, right? And they was talking about Shedeur. You tell they ain't know that. They were like, oh, he's at the high school. And one of the guys was like, maybe he's doing it for publicity stunt. But the guy was like, I don't know what he needed for. He didn't get no trouble. It's like, but yeah, he's trying to change his character. Everybody was in the chat. Them doggone bus was in the chat. Them Shedeur folks was in the chat. Like, y'all don't know who y'all talking about. This guy been doing this. It was loaded.
Yeah.
They don't know what they get into.
Yeah.
They don't know. I don't know. They didn't do their research. But them folk don't play about Shedeur. The Colorado Buff people going with him. So he had some Jackson State people.
They gonna take over Cleveland. They gonna take over Cleveland.
They
gonna be the dog.
Play with that boy. You're not gonna play with him. If you do, if anybody go talking crazy on the internet, they're gonna find out real quick. Because them people they be in there. They be look here.
All day long. They there in the morning, they there in the evening, they in the afternoon, they there at midnight. You go on Twitter, Colorado there.
They dropping his bio down there. Like I already seen the highlight tape. People said, "Oh, Shedeur can't throw." They showed Shedeur top 10 plays. It's going around Facebook. Even he posted it. They were like, "Oh, he can't throw. Oh, his arm weak." Man, that boy got too much tape. Where they do that at? Where that come from? We ain't heard that. His arm weak. Did he not throw a Hail Mary from like the 50-yard line? Running to the left.
On the opposite, on the weak side, not even on the strong side. He rolled out to the left.
Yeah. The guy swinging at him. The guy was this far away from knocking the ball down. And he throwing it. Throw it long this guy can get it. He didn't dirt ball it. He didn't skip it off the ground. If that ball had not been right there, the dude that was covering Jonte, he was coming. If that ball had been a little higher, he would have been able to knock that ball down. If that ball wasn't on that ground, that was God himself. I don't know if Shedeur could have planned that, but the dude, if that ball was a little higher, he would have knocked it down. It was just too low. But I'm just saying, in the rain, you know, one thing he is clutch. One thing I said that in the video. Nobody want to bring up what he is. They want to talk about what he ain't. Yeah, he don't run no 4-2, a 4-3, or 4-4. But you ain't got nobody more clutch. That one thing he been. Nobody more clutch. They call it Brady mode for a reason. Nobody close. Cam Ward ain't had to play from the knee. I felt like Don Shedeur, you get too comfortable playing from behind. Ain't nobody more scared of a Shedeur than the team that's playing him with a lead. Only time he didn't come back was that BYU game. That was it in Kansas. But any other game, they were holding their breath. He really ran down USC a couple years ago. So you ain't describing what he is. You describing everything he ain't by comparing him to Cam Ward. But you looking at these are attributes of Cam Ward. Everybody's different. This his attributes, and Shedeur got it. You can make Cam Ward look like nothing by comparing him to Shedeur's attributes. He can't take the hits. He's not clutch. He's not as fundamental. I can. You don't do the comparison thing. He's raw. He's not as pro ready. I mean, he got the same QB coach, but you can tell that he's not as polished as Shedeur. It's like, come on, man. What do we do? I don't know where that came from. I'm like, you be what? That thing came out of nowhere. And I knew someone was going to slide up, but darn. Because that stuff we ain't never heard before. Coach Prime ain't even here. He in all the circles. And he said here like, where this stuff coming from? They really had to, behind the scenes, say, hey, this is what we finna do. And it wasn't something that I don't think they've been planning for 5-6 months. This is something I don't know. It's going to come out because he know too many people. It's gonna come out. Somebody gonna give him a phone call, even if he don't come out with it. He know too many people. I look at Jared Jones. Jared Jones, oh, I want Prime. I love you, boy. You skipped over him too. Brady, you skipped over him too.
Yeah.
Even in the 3rd and 4th round, you still skipping over him, and you had a chance to get him. Pittsburgh, you had a chance to get him. Come on. Y'all ain't that much on the same page by mistake. Y'all are selfish people. Unless y'all got really behind the scenes and wrote something up and made some kind of blood pack or something. Y'all ain't. JR say I don't want to be watched. I'll take it. That's how it normally works.
Yeah.
For everybody to be like this for 5 rounds. Come on, man.
Yeah. That kind of shake it up, bro. He ain't nowhere on your depth chart after 4 rounds. Really?
With 0 quarterbacks. Steelers over there like this. No quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
Y'all need a quarterback.
Y'all heard what Boomer Sison said. It's been floating around. He said Boomer Sison, former NFL quarterback, former analyst, worked for CBS and all that stuff. Now he kind of doing like some independent stuff. He came out and said, he was like, I talked to a few people, I got a few sources in the league or whatever like that, people that's in these war rooms and stuff like that. And he said it was owners that told GMs, take them off the board.
Yeah.
But when
again,
did they
those not my words. Them words from a man that played in the league, covered the league. He got sources in the league. Boomer Sison even said it was owners that told their GMs, no, take that guy off the board. So, if all the owners, if a few owners collectively got together and started and wanted to collude, right? But, people going out there, people saying it. You got to hear it. You got to listen. But, yeah.
Well, they weren't saying it though until right before the draft. They don't
they did not mention that
until
5 days.
That was just
until then. Yeah, exactly.
They were all looked at with their little notebooks. If he wasn't no good, why they should have boycotted that? Then we would have known, right? None of the teams should have showed their butt up to the pro day.
Yeah,
but they was there.
Right.
That was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Come on. But then you wait all the way up to the draft. And now he got character issues. Y'all talking about he went and got a tent and made his own mock draft day. And what else he supposed to do? You knew he wasn't going. He said it. He said it he supposed to be in Colorado. I don't know what changed with that.
Yeah.
They had said a long time ago that they wasn't going to the draft. And they tried to get Travis not to go. But Travis behind said, I ain't missing out on it. Right. They supposed to have their own draft party. That was the original plan. And then it ended up going down to Dallas.
That was a good plan? Well, that's a good plan, Greg?
Sure, they would have had him. He had a sleeping bag up there. He would have been sleeping up there in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
At least he was at home.
I'm talking about, did that hurt it? You think that hurt his draft?
Everything hurt his draft clearly. In retrospect, he didn't throw in the combine. Neither did Cam Ward, but Cam Ward better. Since when? Since when Cam Ward better? Y'all ain't been saying that. It's been one guy put him at number 1, one guy put him at number 2. It was never a consensus that Cam Ward was better, ever. It depends on tomato. It was never a consensus. Since when was the consensus? I heard a guy come on my page and tell me, he's still a dude. He be on every now and then. He come up there talking about some Cam Ward is bigger, stronger, fast. Oh, bigger? Since when is Cam Ward bigger than Shedeur? You looking at the things? Cam Ward ain't never been bigger than Shedeur. What are y'all there running off your mouth? Cam Ward ain't a big dude. He not as tall or big. He's not a big dude.
They literally got about the same measurables. Literally.
Shedeur's a little bigger than Cam. Cam probably put on a little more weight this year. But Cam is not, his frame is not the same as Shedeur. His lower body is not as big as Shedeur. The Shedeur got some big legs.
Mm-hmm.
See, they don't pay attention. They talk about everything he not. They don't talk about what he is. Only thing I want to see Shedeur do, and he can shut him up. He go get in the weight room and get his core right. Get your core right. You got the trainer, you got the whatever. Go get you ripped. Go get some abs. Go get your core right. That's the only thing his core ain't. His core look like a quarterback.
His core look like,
you know them quarterbacks be all straight bodied. I heard Peyton Manning made a comment one day I'll never forget. He said, "Who needs abs?" He said, "What person has abs outside of an NFL player?" He basically was saying only certain people of a certain age of a certain type have abs. That was his attitude. He probably never had an ab in his life. You know, I don't know why you throwing. I don't know why you wouldn't want your core right, but that's the only thing I would tell Shedeur to do. Give them what they want. They want to point you out. Oh, he out of shape. Look at him. Look at his arms. They want to point out everything, every little thing to justify their hate, jealousy. And then they turn around and say, well, his dad ain't going to give him nothing now. Like, why are you even sliding that in? What his daddy got to do with it?
Yeah.
He got to earn it now. Even the GM. The GM made comment. Well, you know, Shedeur has been in the limelight and, you know, whatever. It's all off. They gonna go say, oh, well, you know, he's got to earn it. Like, who don't, fool? He don't earn it, he gonna get cut.
Exactly.
What you mean?
Even if you picked him at number 2, he still got to earn it.
Everybody got to earn the guy drafted.
I mean, what are you talking about? Anybody go out there and don't play, they cut. Or they traded or something. They gonna get cut either in the summer or they gonna get cut in the doggone preseason. Every week, somebody getting cut.
Trying to find somebody to replace you.
Then if you make the team, they'll cut you in September, October. You never safe. So what you mean? They gonna mess around and get cut. Because what's gonna happen is if they get Ben Silly and they trade this boy, he gonna end up on somebody's Super Bowl team. If they trade him, they get
Silly. Report out there that Philadelphia's finna try to go out there and get him.
The thing is, if they trade him, it ain't gonna be that garbage. See, he was gonna get on a sorry team, and he's still on a sorry team. Let's call it what it is. If he had been the number 1 pick, number 2 pick to Cleveland, he still had an uphill battle. It ain't changed them. Only thing changed his money because they garbage program who haven't proved they can win in a long time with quarterback issues. So it didn't matter if he got picked 1st round or 5th round. He's still gonna have to go through this try to change a dead program again, like he said. But if they get dumb, the best thing can happen to him is they trade him for some offensive lineman or something, and then he go and he end up on a Super Bowl team and he'll get a ring as a backup. Because he ain't finna get one there.
Hey, Patrick Williams got a question there, JR. You think they will trade Kenny Pickett? They ain't pick up his 5th-year option. They got to do something with him.
Yeah, with a move like that, not picking up his 5th-year option, I mean, that make you expendable, right? If you pick up a 5th-year option, I believe it was like 26.2 million or 26.8, something, you know, around, let's say 26. Let's just keep that a round number, 26 million. If you're a businessman, you give somebody 26 million, you keep them around to see what you're going to produce. I've invested in you at this point, so I'm keeping you around. You know, unless you're just ready to cut ties all together, like how they mentioned with Deshaun Watson. It was a big swing and a miss. Somebody tell you that means they out on that guy. We took a big chance and we missed. So that's why you hear a lot of reporters now and NFL analysts and talk shows saying all of that stuff about Deshaun Watson, saying, yeah, he not going to be there, or they're not invested in him anymore, or this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. But when they put $230 million guaranteed into his pocket initially, they was invested. They knew he wasn't going to start for 12 games out of the year. They was invested. He got hurt. They let him rehab, came back. They was invested. So it'd be the same thing for Kenny Pickett, man. They didn't pick up the contract, so he playing on a low scale of a contract this year. That make him easily tradable and easy to cut. I hope that answers your question.
I appreciate that. Man, I was looking at Pac, man. I see some people in the chat. Boy, he went off on his show. I don't know if y'all watched it. Pac-Man was acting like Greg on there. Pac-Man went off, man. Y'all see it?
Man, he, you know how he is. And when it comes to that, you know,
Pac-Man said, oh, get the fuck out of here. He said to him, get the fuck out of Cleveland.
But he know, everybody know.
Yeah.
I you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I think what Coach Prime originally said it was in programs he didn't want to go to. I think it was Cleveland. I think Cleveland was one of those programs. Yeah. And I feel like conspiracy theories, Greg. Y'all meet conspiracy theory, Greg. I feel like that had a lot to do with what they did to him. Oh, you don't run things, and guess what? And who gonna end up picking you? They wanted Cleveland to pick him. Cleveland didn't even want to pick him. They was made to pick him because that was part of the humiliation. The humiliation was, we ain't gonna pick you, and you still gonna go to where we want you to go. You gonna tell us where you ain't gonna go. Cause we determine. You gotta think about NFL controlling this crap. They rig games. Yeah, I said it. They do all that. Man, come on now. And that's another reason why a QB got to be careful, because the QB plays a big role in that. And a lot of time, I've watched many of these great QBs. I can name them by name. Some Hall of Famers step right back and throw the ball to interception. You think it was Russell Wilson mistake throwing that interception on 1.5 yard line to lose the game instead of giving the beast mode. These games are so rigged, it's ridiculous. And the quarterback, they throw games, literally throw games. I seen Brett Favre do it. I seen Peyton Manning do it. So you can't have a guy who you can't trust, who got his own mind, because he might mess around and say, I'm finna win. So it's a lot of things that go along with when you're trying to let somebody know their place. And it's more than race. If you know how that NFL run, they run control, because they control the whole freaking game. They control who go to the playoff. They control who go where. So when you got a guy say, I ain't going there, so you're going to mess up what we doing, we'll show you, and you still going to go to Cleveland where we had you going anyway. I think they already had it set for him to go to Cleveland. They just trying to show him. The problem is, like we see in other arenas, sometimes the powers that be try to show you how powerful they are, and you see that popular person arise, and you see the people rise up behind them, and then you realize, oh, we ain't finna pull this crap off. So you got somebody like Shedeur in there, and I feel like I said, and I still believe they just finding out that they want to continue to humiliate him by putting him as a fifth-string quarterback and possibly cut him or send him to the. I think that was their plan. But I think their plan is changing as they see how we respond, because we'll put their butt out of business. I don't get it twisted. They ain't went through all that. It's all right, brother. Come on in the league. We were just playing. Oh, woo. No, I think that that thing's supposed to continue on. He's gonna get up there. They're gonna Jackie Robinson his behind. And just like play with him a little bit and not give him no reps and just beat on his little confidence and his little soul and then make him self-sabotage. Because they say, oh, your dad is not here now. I think they were gonna try to mock him and everything. What you gonna do now? Who gonna save you now? Almost haze him. They want to haze him. So, but the problem is they gonna realize they're not as big as bag as they think they are. Because the people who pay your tickets, your stadium can get empty. Your jersey sales can go down. If they feel like he the people's champ and they feel like you picking on him, it's people, his popularity has grown from people who weren't even studying him now. People who didn't watch football. Is everybody looking at who gonna treat this kid wrong? There's so many eyeballs on it. They looking at you. Go ahead. Mistreat him. We'll shut the NFL down. We'll boycott. We won't even cut the TV on. We won't come to the game. Everybody will come to the game with Shedeur jerseys, and who knows? They'll go to another team game and say, we want Shedeur. That's how crazy this is. They'll go to the Cowboys game. We want Shedeur. It can get ugly. It can get ugly. And they think that they got power, but they gonna see it's the people who got the power because they the one buying the tickets. They the one who watching the games. Just like your Raiders went up, your Raiders can go down, NFL. Play with the boy. Y'all found the right one to mess with. Y'all should have messed with somebody else. You got the right one.
All right, we appreciate Greg on it tonight.
But Greg on full tilt, man.
I got to sit back till he ain't talked in a week. So hey, all right. Got to moving on. Got to moving on. Right on the hour. Got about 15 more minutes to talk about these players that Coach Prime is bringing in and already have committed. JR, we got an offensive lineman from Tennessee by the name of Larry Johnson. I think he's 6'7", another 6'7", 350 pounds. Talk to me.
Look, B. Watts, I know you don't like to hear me say this one word. You went y'all hate it. Measurables. I like them measurables. Hey, pause. But I like them measurables, young man. 6'7", 350. That's what I'm talking about, man. Putting some beef up on that line. A young man that was a projected starter for University of Tennessee, a program that was in the college football playoff last year. So I like that. 6'7", 350. Now we working. Look, I question Gunner White. Hey, you see my hands? You see my hands? They're together. Yeah. Hey, keep cooking, Gunner White. I questioned you. I'll hold my beer at this point. I don't drink though. But I'll see a whole one. That's what I'm talking about. It's to you, Greg.
I think that this is good for him at this point because on the way, this program moved forward in the right direction without, I knew the narrative is gonna be what you gonna do without your sons, can you coach without your sons? And the whole running game thing was a big deal. If they get a strong line in front of somebody like Salter, and the defense is pretty solid, this team, if they go 11-1, anything wrong that line, go to championship, it's a wrap. So you bringing in this quality of line, right tackle, you got the right guard that came in, you got some depth. This sets this team up to be what we thought they could be. You lost a couple guys, but then you brought in some receivers, some more receivers. You still got Old Miller there, so you still got the receiver. You bringing in a little Dylan Edwards style running back, and we already talked about what you got there. So this is a major piece, this lineman right here. That was, that right tackle was.
Yeah, it was a nosebleed staring that us, man. I kept saying, man, hey, we one more piece away. We need somebody to go beside Zach Chrysler. And they got the same measurement on that right side. Both of them 6'7", both of them 350. Hey, it is what it is. But also, as Greg just mentioned now, JR, they picked up a running back by the name of D. Taylor, the Draylon Taylor. I seen some videos on him. He kind of got the speed of Dylan Evans. I know you kept saying we need that 1,000-yard rushing. What you think about Taylor joining the running back room with Marshall Faulk?
Hey, they call that. My nickname for him is Lil Hawk, Lil Track Hawk. That's it. Hey, Lil Hawk. Boy got some burn on him. That's Lil Hawk right there. So, look, a guy that you can use in multiple ways. A change of pace back for sure, but he can also run between the tackles. Another special teams guy. He contributed on special teams at his last school. And a guy that's hungry. He ready to prove himself. Look, that's the same school Cam Ward came from. And Connor Ward, that's in San Antonio. Those guys down there, man, they work hard too, man. But this young man, he want to prove himself. So Lil Hawk, man, I like to pick up. Lil Hawk, I like it. This to you, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, he's Dylan Edwards 2.0. So, you got that that component in there, however they're gonna use him. He can catch out the backfield. Yeah, they say he's 4.3 speed guy. So you got some speed, and man, you got these 6'7" linemen. You ain't gonna be able to see him.
He sure
So
ain't.
if he can read, he gonna be a problem. He gonna be a problem because you ain't gonna be able to see him, especially when he run to that right side. So you know, I think they want to get one more running back. I think this is their opportunity to go get the big bruiser. You got the speed guy, you got the combination guy, Hayden and all that, and Welch. They go get you a guy 230. Y'all heard Amos still in the portal. Amos messes up last year, went to Ole Miss, and then he back in the portal.
Yeah, I think somebody don't pick them up.
Yeah, I think he said Georgia State. Georgia State.
Georgia State got him.
So
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? That's what he did. That's what he did when he left not go to Colorado. He ended up at Georgia State. And you know what Georgia State do? All Colorado players go to burn at Georgia State.
None of them, he messed up.
None of them turned out right. Because they say they went and got another good running back from Georgia or something. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. All right, JR. Got another one. Safety. Go back in that safety room. John Slater from the University of Tennessee. I kept saying we need some more safety, even though I like the way Branch and Takeifa Byers playing. But hey, they had another safety, bro.
Yeah, this guy right here, look, another guy from University of Tennessee. I mentioned it before, college football playoff. He was a key contributor to their defense last year, a defense that was rated in the top 5 of college football last year. Guy with some talent, some speed, some athleticism. He started 10 of their total 13 games. He got hurt towards the end of the year. But this is what we're talking about when I said that they're looking to constantly improve the roster. This is an athlete that is going to improve your roster. It's going to make it harder for other guys to get on the field. And when other guys trying to get on the field, they got to outplay a guy that probably got more natural ability than them. So that just raises the level of everybody play.
Right. Yeah.
Making a well-rounded team. Look, people laugh when we said, oh man, this roster is a better, well-rounded roster than it was last year. People laugh, but you got guys like him that help make the roster more well-rounded. The more talent you bring in, the harder guys have to work to prove to get on the field. Especially if you got dreams of playing at the next level. Yeah. It's you, Greg.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all this: people run their mouth and they don't talk it up because they say, "Hey, Colorado is in the Big 12. That's a weak conference. They can't compete with the SEC." Well, it looked like every year he get a little something SEC. It seems like he got more SEC players this year than ever before. Right. You just see 2 from the same team. We got 1 from Auburn. If Hood had stayed, that would have been another one. But you're attracting what quality players? Whether they out of high school. So you saying they can't compete with the SEC, but they're getting an SEC, and then they're not getting bench riders from the SEC. They're getting people who played. They're not no longer getting people from those little colleges like he did the first year from Akron and all that. Those lower schools. They're getting these quality transfers now. So and are they getting transfers who the SEC wanted? They from a smaller school, the SEC wanted them, and they chose Colorado. So this is telling I'm telling you the type of team that they're building, because ain't nobody finna hit no portal. So it is what it is now. So you don't have to worry about nobody else leaving. This is just all extra. So, this is telling you the type of team that Colorado is about to be. They're gonna shock a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. They're gonna shock a lot of people. They're getting that depth together. Parks, he also made it official today. He's joining. That's a cornerback. He might be the replacement for Hood, but I still like the way R.J. Johnson is doing. Still give him depth. And you don't know the status, really the status. Ain't nobody saying of Preston Hards, JR.
Yeah, that's what I look at for Teion Parks, man. A guy that can come in, that can backfill a position. You mentioned Preston Hards. that's the comparison right there. That's a match. Preston Hodge, maybe he's not ready at the beginning of the year. Whatever the case may be, that's the guy that's going to be able to step in right there. Had unbelievable production at a lower level. But you know what? When you can play anywhere. All you need is the opportunity.
Right.
So I like this pickup. I like how they're making that back end more athletic, more speed. Man, Rob Livingston and Coach Matthews, they know what they're doing back there. They get more speed, more athleticism back there. They ain't playing no games. It's to you, Greg.
Well, I don't know what y'all saying, but I'm what I see. I don't see R.J. Johnson coming out the field. He basically is the new Colton Hood. The way he was playing out there during the spring, they gonna McKinney better watch himself over there. I know he got the first dibs because everybody don't label him as, but he better watch himself. He on the chopping block because R.J. Johnson don't found his groove, and I don't know. So it ain't open like that.
I've been trying to tell him, man. If you look at spring practice, look at the spring game. DJ McKinney ain't following up that last year with the effort and the performance on the field. This year, from what I'm saying, what they don't put on tape. Now I'm not at practice. I don't know, but hey, I'm not going off film. What I'm looking at. Also, JR, they don't added this guy today. Noah King. He visited 29th. Hey, he committed. He's another defensive back that they done got 6'2", 200 pounds from Kansas State. A safety, but they say he's gonna play defensive back.
Yeah, look, a young guy. He was a highly recruited guy. Had a ton of offers coming out. He decided on Kansas State. Then look, he decided on Colorado. So that's what I like. Some youth coming in, some youth in the program, somebody that they can get in the program and develop. You can match him up back there with Branch, another guy that played lights out during the spring game. So I like it. Composite 4-star. I went and I saved his huddle tape so I can go back and look at, what he did in high school and stuff like that. But all the things I've read up on him so far, good athlete, works hard, fast on the field. I like that. That's what I like. I like to hear. So we not just bringing in one-year mercenaries. This is a guy right here that the program that he gonna build in the program. I like that. It's on you, Greg.
Well, like I say, everybody's worried about that safety room. It don't look like it's thin. It's gonna get very competitive, and you know how that go. People want to jump the portal. Cause I know Branch look good back there, but he got to go and live in that weight room in the cafeteria. He got to just get his sleeping bag and just be up in there, and eat a couple times every meal. Like I talk about, you need to go eat, but you bring in this guy like this, he's 6'2", 200. That's what Branch needs to try to get. He's trying to get there, Right. Branch like 6'2", 170.
Yeah.
So, these guys is who you want to be like, and hopefully you don't become that guy and have to hit the portal to do it. Because these guys coming in ready, and you're gonna be behind them, and you're gonna be in the portal. So,
So I like that. I like Branch though. He lived with it. He ain't scared to come up there and put them shoulder pads on. Yeah, I don't want to see Stoudemire back there, but anyway. Well,
then he go ahead and put Stoudemire at linebacker, like I said 2 years ago. Put him at linebacker. Everybody didn't want to believe me, and then last year he was playing linebacker. You go ahead and put him at linebacker. He big enough.
There you go. Look, now you was cooking tonight. Now he getting out of body. Now look, he was cooking. He was on the heat of the night. Now
so Stoudemire. So which way you would rather have Stoudemire at, in coverage or at linebacker?
Not at no linebacker.
I have him down there in that box. I ain't gonna lie to you. Linebacker, I don't know about linebacker, but in the box safety or something.
No sir.
Well, what they just had Wester at? Before Wester left, they had him at like a like a hybrid strong safety linebacker.
Yeah, I like Webster like that. Webster come up and hit.
So you don't think Stoudemire come up and hit?
I haven't seen it yet.
Look, I ain't never seen. Look, I ride for Stoudemire.
I know.
I ain't never seen him like pop nothing though.
Nah,
But
you ain't.
he's a really, really good athlete. So like a position like Shark played, Silman Craig, I can see him in that box safety, come down. You know, he get on the edge real quick, stuff like that. I like that because he's good. Look, everything you hear about Carter Stoudemire is that he's one of the best athletes on the team. Everybody said, players, coaches, they all said he's one of the best athletes on the team. So,
okay. Got another wide receiver that JR from Florida State, came to Colorado. Like he's a little bit more mature than the rest of the wide receivers. What you think about that pickup to that wide receiver room along with Cecile Brown?
Hey, I'm going to say this again. Let me put a pause in front of it before I can get there. Man, I like his measurables. I like his body style. I like his body. Pause, y'all. Pause. But look, another athlete that he can run fast. He a big body, but we got a big body with some speed now. Oh, a big body, but oh ain't no blazer. Oh, a good possession guy. Oh, got good solid hands.
Right.
Same thing with JoJo. JoJo he a good possession guy. But he ain't gonna just run down you on the field.
Right.
You got Cam Michael. He's a blazer, but he's not a stature. He's not a tall guy. You got Timmons here in the middle. Then you got my Texas guys. Q from 6, he can run. Not a big guy though. Right. So I like this guy. He got a combination of good measurables and some good speed. So I like this pickup. That's one of them level athletes. It's on you, Greg.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because then you're looking at him. You got Sincere Brown in there, you know, which is he's taller, but you brought in some size. I think O is faster than what people think. He's not no 4.3 guy. He's probably more of a 4.5 guy, but he clearly got good game speed because he's seen to pull away. So I think when you got that combination of O Miller, when you got a guy like Williams here, when you got a guy like Sincere, when you got that combination, you got options. So again, it's gonna go back to this scheme. If you scheme it up right, then yeah, you definitely can do something. But if we got that act like you don't know how to use it, you know, all these weapons, what good is them? So it's gonna boil down to the scheme.
Yeah, I like to pick up, like I said, bigger guy like JR saying, more mature guy, been around. Him and Cecile Brown bring a different dynamic to the team for size and blazing speed. And then, man, you got O, Barracon X, JoJo, Q6, Draylon. I think they can use Draylon in different type of ways if they scheme it up right and get him the ball from the backfield. Got Cam Michael. Like I said, it's looking like a good wide receiver group. And from what I heard, they're looking at one more to add to the room. And we're gonna see how that depth chart comes up. Once you bring in new players, that drive that depth chart down. Everybody go down a notch. If you're looking at a player that's got 1 year that really did good, from what I'm hearing, Coach Prime ain't finna rely on no rookies. That's from what I'm hearing, and I couldn't blame him. Even though Storm good and Storm might have package, yeah, he trying to win it all. He ain't just trying to win no bowl game or Big 12. Coach Prime going for it all. But moving on, like I said, I like to pick up. I see the wide receiver coach. They go tight. So just have to think. JR got some visitors this weekend. They got a lot of guys. They got a D Tiger, they got an edge, they got a running back, they got an athlete and Jalen Lott. They got Matthew, another wide receiver, a Beck. I've been hearing that name a lot on the line. Deacon Smith, a lineman. They got them all coming in. This Saturday.
Look, just to think, man. 2 years ago, everybody was all up in arms. Oh, he ain't taking trips out to see high school students or high school recruits, or they ain't doing this. They need to get more. All right, what can you say now? What can you say now? We ain't talking, these ain't no run-of-the-mill like guys. You see that graphic right there, what they say across his chest. All American.
Right.
They don't just throw those out. So there's a method to his madness. Now we in that what they call that FAFO part. You know? That's what everybody's saying now. So that's the part we in with Coach Prime. He said, y'all finna find out. F around, find out. In find out stage. He letting y'all know I'm bringing in some high-level recruits. We saw a little taste of it last year. Got some of them IMG boys in there on the visit. Brought in a good crop of high school recruits this past year. Now look, they just stacking more. So look, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's you, Greg.
Hey, I got something there, but Greg, I'll move on from this. Appreciate that insight on that, JR. Appreciate your take on that. Greg, we got Travis Hunter. People ain't talking about him. Well, enough. The best player going to Jacksonville State. We seen what Jacksonville Jaguars did to get him. How you think they're gonna use him? They're gonna give a chance to play both ways. Is it better fit for the offensive side or the defensive side? What you think the Jacksonville Jaguar should do with Travis Hunter?
I mean, it looked like, they put a little graphic out with him on both sides. I think it's going to be only as good as the quarterback with how much he be used on offense. I think they primarily going to use him on the defense because that's what they need. But I think it's going to be up to the quarterback on how much he get used on offense. And I know they say Trevor Lawrence is not who he used to be anymore or something. He's just going through something. But, Trevor Lawrence was the guy in high school and when he went to Clemson and, and I don't know how did he fall off in the pro like that, but they don't have a quarterback. You're going to get to see what Shedeur really meant to Travis because you can't get him the ball. He can't make the plays like. So I think that's what they've been struggling with down there. So we'll see. We'll see to what extent. But Jacksonville is a small market, pretty much smaller than Cleveland. So it's like It's great he went there. Because it's low key, is close to his family. It's not far from Savannah. He moved his family to Savannah. He's back down in Florida. He got family in Florida. Dad and all them get to it, but it's like at the same time, it's a little market team, so you're not gonna get the hype. I wonder how much impact. I'm sure it's gonna get some tickets sold because everybody want to see Travis Hunter. I'm sure that's gonna help them, their ticket sales. But he ain't Travis Hunter unless somebody can get him that ball. On the offensive side, at least.
What you think there, JR?
Yeah, man. For Travis, look, Travis the biggest show in town. I talked about it. Like I said, I got family about 30 minutes away, man. He the biggest show in town. I've been to Jacksonville Stadium to watch my Texans play. It's empty. That's one of the teams that the NFL constantly sends overseas because they don't sell out at home. I don't think that's a problem when you got Travis there. I see him using them on offense more primarily because Trevor Lawrence, outside of Brian Thomas Jr., what other target he got? Christian Kirk gone. He plays for my Texans now. So with Trevor Lawrence, man, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm up there talking to the GM, to the coach, to the owner, whoever. Look, y'all done paid me all this money. Y'all drafted a big-time receiver from LSU last year. Now we got the ultimate athlete on our team. He needs to be on offense. I need him on offense. He's too electric and dynamic. So I think Jacksonville work him in on offense, because offense, that's what sell the tickets. Defense, quote unquote, win the championship, but the offense sell the tickets. And the way the GM and their head coach was talking, they're talking about, look, we trying to change the program around. We trying to change the culture. We're trying to change this. They also trying to put butts in the seats. I guarantee you that owner said that too. That's why they went and got Travis Hunter. He's a great, phenomenal, electric, unmovable force on the football field. But they know what's going to sell seats. They know the demographic of where he was raised relative to where he played high school. That's a marketing thing right there. His talent got him there. But when the team and the organization looking at all of that, they looking like, okay, yeah, we ain't selling out seats. But this guy right here, he going to put some butts in seats, and he going to produce on the field.
Right.
We can utilize his talents threefolds: offense, defense, marketing. Look how big his following is on social media. Boy got his own podcast, got his own YouTube, he on Twitch, he on TikTok, he on all these social media platforms. If I had a degree in marketing, I'll be calling up Jacksonville Jaguars right now. Look, I got a cold plan to get this thing popping. Because Travis Hunter gonna do the work. His personality is so vibrant. It's so infectious. People want to be around him. His smile is as big as the room. Man, they got a good one. So Jacksonville gonna do it right, but I see him using them on offense, because you don't put $230 million in Trevor Lawrence's pocket and $155 million guaranteed to that, and then don't get him no weapons to throw to. Shoot, Travis Buck gonna be out there on offense too, and I think he's gonna be primarily on offense, and they gonna put him in there on defense, and they gonna have his face all over Jacksonville, all the way to that Georgia border. They're going to be pushing. They're going to be trying. That Atlanta Falcons cup you got in your hand, Greg, they trying to make that a Jacksonville cup.
We got to plan. They're going to plan the trip down. You got to go ahead and fly in. Like we go to Colorado. Get on down. That 5-hour drive.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm not finna drive no 5 hours, Greg. I'll fly down there and meet y'all. I'm
ready.
I ain't finna drive. No, you can do that. But check this out, though. Let me ask you this, Greg, then JR. No, let me go JR first, then Greg. Which other player other than Shedeur, Travis, and which other player than those two you excited to see on their team this year? See if they make the team this year, rather.
I'm excited to see J5, man. I'm excited to see him. Right? The storyline is so intriguing about J5, man. The thing with his dad, the coming to Colorado, being the first player to earn his number, being so electric on the field, and then we get to this year, and it's kind of like, it's like a lull. Like he was hurt all year, couldn't stay healthy. That first game when we saw him, and he had like 190-something yards that first game against North Dakota State, and we was like, whoa. Boy, he about to eat this year. Then he finished the season with under 500 because he just hurt. Just all year, just hurt. Finished the same touchdown he scored the first game of the year. That's the only touchdown he had all season.
He can't get hurt in the NFL, but they'll get rid of you, man.
But he didn't waver. He didn't waver. He got in there. He blocked his butt off. He was a good teammate. You ain't never hear J5 complain. So I'm excited to see him. And I'm 2.5 hours up the road. I can't wait for them to release this NFL schedule so I can know. All right, he on that roster. All right, my ticket's cash. I'm up there. At least for preseason, I'm definitely up there.
Okay. What about you, Greg?
I think that's good. I want to see what LeJounte do. See, can he become a main fixture? And everybody on the shallow right now. He told all the jokes, kept everybody from being on suicide watch. On that weekend. I mean, You know, he took the butt of the jokes, you know, and he got his chance and fired his dad and got him an agent and all that good stuff. So I want to see what Shiloh can pull off down because everybody kind of watching Shedeur. They kind of help Shiloh because he ain't got to take all that heat that Shedeur taking. And you look up and then both of them being there. I want to see. I think Tampa Bay a good fit for somebody like Shiloh.
Yep.
And you know, Shiloh, you know, Atlanta got to see them a couple times. That you know, the Saints really dropped the ball. The Saints, I think they dropped the ball more than anybody, more than the Raiders, more than Pittsburgh. Because the Saints is in the doggone NFC South. They would have had a chance to see Shedeur go against his brother. They would have had Shedeur come to Atlanta at least once a year, and then Atlanta go to him. Oh, that thing would have been rocking. And then you down there in New Orleans, and you ain't really got nothing down there, no quarterback really. They fans really mad. That's who really dropped the ball. Yeah, I just thought about that. The NFCs is that because you think Jimmy would have been if he made the team, he would have been in Carolina. Shiloh would have been down in Tampa Bay, and Shedeur would have been in New Orleans. That would have
been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be mad. Yeah.
Will Shepherd down there in Tampa Bay too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You're right. You're right. All right, fellas. That's the end of the show. We're at an hour and 30 minutes. I appreciate y'all tonight. Once again, was a banger. I want to thank everybody who's tuning in right now. If you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have never subscribed to Sports Talk with B. Watts, and also join the membership. Appreciate each and one of you for rocking with Sports Talk with B. Watts and Greg said it along with J.R. Boxing. Give us your last word. After you, then Greg, and we out of here.
B. Watts, it's always a pleasure, man, to get on here on the space with you. Chop it up, man, for you to curate a space for men like us to come up here and give our opinions and state some facts. And man, hey, shout out to Greg, man. Greg, right? You was cooking that hot water cornbread. You know how when you make hot water cornbread, the grease got to be like real hot. You got to put the cornbread in there and flip it real fast. That's what you was on tonight. You on that hot water cornbread, man. Greg, you was cooking tonight, man.
Hot water cornbread. Yeah.
You ain't never had hot water cornbread? Hey, in the chat, if you had hot water cornbread, put your thumbs up. I'm telling you.
You talking about the flapjacks? You talking about when they like
the flapjack. Okay.
People call it flapjack. Hey, where I'm from in the H, we call them hot water cornbread.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you now.
Hot water cornbread. But hey, Greg, salute to you, bro. You was cooking. And shout out to my people in Detroit, man. Again, hey, they sent me these buffs. I got them on tonight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to y'all, man. It's the buffs for the buffs. Salute.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You know, like I said, that this right here, what they're going through right now, remind me a lot of what they went through that first year. And that's when I really came on the scene. That's what really made me come onto this thing. So, you know, that's more of my lane, you know, talking about this stuff like this. You know, like I said, Edson, oh, that's cute and all, but that ain't really what I got into it for. I would have been doing it. But just like to see people done the right way. You know, people got to be done the right way. You don't want to see people mistreated and dogged out, and you know, people telling bold-faced lies. You know, they lying out the side of it. You know, so it's like, you know, that's where we at right now, and then we got to keep a close eye on it, on how these boys get treated. But I'm Greg. Greg said it. You know, like they said earlier, we are on live on Sundays right now. It's about 2:00 on Sundays. That's where we at. I said in the off season I've been doing this 30-minute thing, but this story here kind of picking up. This stuff been picking up, so we were back. We did an hour and a half last Sunday. You know, like I've been trying to do 30 minutes and get out, but you know, it is what it is. This is some hot stuff, and it's not just hot in our circle nowhere. It's hot across the whole NFL. Like everybody paying attention to this thing. So we gonna keep a close eye to this thing. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe if you haven't. And you know what? You know, I have this special product I have called a Tanggula box. I always tell people about. Everybody should have it, especially now. We just named how many teams, how you going to keep up with them. So y'all go to my page, you know, defeatcable.com. But y'all see, I promote that on Sundays because that help us keep track of these boys. You know, you'll better catch the local stations and channels and, You know, you ain't got no cable bill and all that, but, you know, we're going to be able to keep an eye on these boys in different cities, and we're not going to be locked out by our region. So that's another thing y'all check out.
All right, y'all heard it from Greg City and JR Boxing. We'll see y'all next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Good night. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see everybody then. Fellas, appreciate y'all. Good show once again. Thank you.
Are you practicing to practice, or you practicing to be great?
Which way am I going?
Next bus coming, you on the way.
The key to the success as a coach, I'm saying as a strength coach, and I'm watching them work, they self-policed. They made sure everybody did their reps. The best players was my hardest workers. My best players was my hardest workers. My best players was the hardest workers. So the guys that we count on, you can count on them from the weight room, from conditioning. They always out front, and they the toughest. Your best players got to be.